Hello, Rescue My Renovation. My name's Elizabeth. I'm going to introduce you to Mark and show you our house.
Hi, and I'm Mark, and I'll do the grilling.
Here's our house, home sweet home. We love it. It's the perfect size and has a wonderful yard and even better neighbors. Let's take a quick look at the backyard. Beautiful spot, lovely trees. Oh, big green egg. We do lots of cookouts and gotten pretty good at smoking, so if you're a fan of smoked barbecue, come on over. Lovely old chestnut tree. Our chickens. Our neighbors in the back are actually the folks that we bought the house from. Their mother used to live here and she passed away, which put the house on the market and we were able to buy it. Great people. Cute two-car garage, detached, the place where I've been working on painting the doors, and then some of our side yard. This is little guy. Here's the kitty. This was one of our high priority projects for our builder, for our contractor. We noticed that there was some damage to the roof and that had been leaking. This is actually a flat roof. So he took the fascia board away so he could pop his head in there to determine what we needed to do to fix it, and then proceeded to spend money on everything else, even though we told him this was a priority. He kept assuring us he was going to get to it, but obviously he didn't. Now I'm just waiting for the birds to go in there for the winter. Fortunately, we've made some progress here. You can see where the paint lines are different. That's where we took an old window out, so there was a big window this size right there in the center of the bathroom wall. And we replaced it with this little light so that we could have some more room. Our contractor left this with Tyvek. Never went and ordered the shingles, and we had to find somebody to install them. So we had our shingles reshingled and have yet to find the exact paint match. Let's take a closer look up here too. Not great light for it, but see that pipe? That is the exhaust fan. It was a group decision to have the exhaust come out the soffit rather than poke another hole in the ceiling. However, you never put a cover on it. So now I'm waiting for birds to nest in there for the winter. Let's take a look at the dining room window from outside. You'll see where that big white block is where our contractor cut out a rotting hole. He originally told us he could repair it with Bondo. It wasn't until later, once we started running out of money, that he said, oh no, the hole's too big. You're actually going to have to take the whole middle pane out and I'll reframe it. Well, by the time he did that, it'd be cheaper to buy a new window. Let's take a little closer look so you can see the lovely duct tape work done by my dad. It's definitely been a group project. This is just to keep the water out because already this window leaked onto the new drywall that our contractor installed, and we had a water stain. Come on inside, let's check it out. We've got a few pictures up, but most of our furniture is just up against the wall because we are still in the middle of construction. First thing you might notice is that this window isn't trimmed out properly. So we took the trim off to re-drywall in here, and then our contractor left before it was finished. We let him go. But now we don't have the skills to do it because it doesn't quite fit, and we're wondering how to fix it. So that's just tacked up there for now. Looking up, you'll see once again the seams aren't finished, And we ran out of money for the crown molding. And then one final glance up, and every room has a lovely hole in the middle. Took all of our money for light fixtures. And then each room will have this same issue, which is coming down to where the baseboard heater hits the new drywall. Instead of popping the heaters off, he just went right above that, but I'm not quite sure how we're supposed to fill in this gap. But he said he had a plan, but I don't know what that is. Oops. Every room is pretty much the same. So if we come into the dining room, we find the same problem: missing trim, drywall that comes to the top of the heater, seams at the top that aren't finished, and lovely light fixtures. Here's a wall that we took down and replaced with a banister. Opening up the space looks pretty nice. The problem is, now we're stuck with this green carpeting. No money to replace the carpeting. I have in mind a cute leopard carpeting. I already picked it out. And another lovely light fixture. Let's check out the office. This is the room that we had originally planned on starting with these two windows to replace. There are actually several windows that need to be replaced in the house, but we knew that this one was going to be a project in here because we were taking all the drywall down, so we thought, well, we'll just finish one room. Of course, our contractor never ordered our windows and used our money for something else instead. Not quite sure what. So here's the office. We've got windows that have not been replaced, and the cords have been cut so they won't stay open. There's no weight attached anymore. We have the same problem with the baseboard being missing. And if we go up to the top, same problem with no crown molding, no finished seams, as well as a lovely light fixture. Turn it off so you can see it. And then finally in this room, the baseboard covers were pretty rotted. They had gotten wet from something and they were all rusty. So originally our contractor recommended that we take them, sand them, spray paint them, and he was going to do all this work. I'm not quite sure when he thought he was going to have the time, but after he left, we talked to an HVAC contractor who said just replace them. So we recycled those. None of the painting actually got done either. So all of the painting, it was done by us, even though our contractor had said he could get it finished. Let's take a look at the bathroom. On first glance, it looks pretty, doesn't it? Beautiful fixtures, lovely tile on the floor. But on closer inspection, a lot of things went wrong. First, you might notice we have a shower curtain hanging here. It's because our contractor went so far over budget and took so much time that we didn't have enough money to install the shower door. Let's come in and take a look at the shower. Looks pretty nice, all lined up, everything's pretty even, but when you get closer, you'll notice some problems. First, we can see, probably on the video, that there's some lippage that's pretty bad that he attempted to fill in with grout. And there's probably 10 tiles on the bottom that look this way. If you look at the grout lines on the top, you'll see that the grout lines don't fill in all the way. And that's throughout the entire top. So everywhere you go, the grout lines have sunken in. I did have somebody in to take a look at how to fix it, see if we could just fill the grout in, but of course they told me you can't do that. And he told me that the corners were done incorrectly. I'm not quite sure what that means, but the corners were done incorrectly. if you go down to the floor, you can see places where the grout has been, where is it? It's not as good when it's not wet. Where the grout is not all the way filled in. So there are holes in the flooring that I guess water can seep through. I'm not quite sure. You'll also notice that even though this bathroom is only a couple months old, the grout lines are already dirty. That's because our contractor never cured it and never sealed the grout. He took my grout sealer, my tile sealer, but he never applied it. So I know I bought it, but it was never applied. Then you can see this hash mark along the board here. He must have damaged that while he was installing it. And apparently he tells me that underneath it, was never grouted either. Let's move over to the floor. We have the same problem with the floor not being sealed. So the grout there is also fairly dirty. And you can see again, there's holes in the grout, so it's not even. Just so you know, I did clean this floor yesterday. Scrubbed all the grout. But there's holes in the grout. Again, unacceptable lippage, so the entire thing is uneven. When I come over here, we already have some leakage going on in the plumbing. And the reason I found it is because it stained my tile floor. So I missed that the first few days I was traveling a lot and found that it had stained it and then had to look for the cause. And if I come down to the floor next to it, there's another spot over there. Although I don't see any leak above it, I'm not quite sure what's causing that. One more quick thing, go back to the shower. Beautiful Kohler fixtures. That shower is installed backwards. So the hot is supposed to be up top. In this case, you only turn the knob just a little bit to get to the hot. So he has the left and the right installed incorrectly. Let's go up to the window. He left me with a plexiglass window because he tried not to order my windows. But the window came in, we made him order it. The window came in after he left. We had somebody install it, but we haven't gotten to fixing the trim yet. And then the same problem that we have everywhere else, where I asked him to finish all of the corners, but none of them are finished because he was intent on coming back and having me pay him more money to install crown molding. If you look at the molding on the side of the door, we built this door new, so we had to replace the molding. And in an attempt to match it to the molding from the period, he chose this piece that doesn't match and doesn't get flush to the wall. So I'm not quite sure what I'm supposed to do about that. So you've met Mark and I, you met Little Guy and Minnie Mouse. You've seen that we're gonna be cooking on the grill, and I'll do some baking if you come. And you've also gotten a chance to see our house. The renovation wasn't all terrible. We found a great electrical contractor who has been really helpful and did great work and really saved us a lot of money on rewiring the electric. And despite waking up in the middle of the night frustrated and angry that I let myself get taken by somebody, it's been a joy to live here. We know more neighbors in this neighborhood than we've ever known anywhere. We could probably name about 15 of our neighbors. And that's kind of a unique experience. People sharing coffee, leaning over the fence to have some eggs and take some eggs home. We go on to pool parties and shared cookouts, so we're really happy to be here. I just would love to wake up every morning and be just as happy that everything in the renovation that we originally set out to do is actually done. So hopefully you'll consider coming down. It's a great little area. We would have a lot of fun and we would love to have your help. Thank you. Mark wants me to add one more thing to the video, so I'm going to take you upstairs real quick to show you where our next renovation would take place. We have an adorable attic that's been finished, but isn't properly insulated, so you can't really use it as well as we would like. We learned the insulation problem after we ran the plumbing upstairs already. So the plumbing is ready to go to install a bathroom, but it gets really, really hot up here. Our neighbor is a spray-on consultant, and his recommendation was to take all the paneling down. You can see there's a lot of storage up here. Take all the paneling down and spray foam, and then repeat and replace everything. Lovely. So this would be for next year, or in like 5 years, not next year.